Workout B, phase 1, program 4. We're doing circuit training today. So we're going to begin with lateral med ball slams. We're going to take a large step to the side, slam the ball down, catch the ball, and then go back to the start. Finish one side before moving on to the next. So we're going to do 4 on one side, switch, 4 on the opposite side. And let's demo that again, Kristen, but I want you to be more fluid with it. So let's do 2 reps going to just the left side. Good, so as we're doing it, step to the side, slam. As we start understanding that better, we want to be more fluid with that motion. So for week 1, we want to make sure that we're landing on the outside of our foot. So as you step, make sure that outer edge is where you're braking. Press off the inside of your foot as you're returning to the start. And for week 3, the focus is going to be being explosive with your slam. So as you slam that ball down, make sure to try to break the floor. We're going to be pairing that up with our bird dog hold. So with that bird dog hold, we want to talk about 2 new things. So we want to talk about kick the ball. So when we think about kicking a ball, we think about pulling the toes up. The other thing that we look at is looking at the knee pulling up. So that way the leg's locked out, the toes are facing up. So when we think about the bird dog hold, what we want to do is we want to kick the ball with the leg and we want to shake the hand. So just reach that arm out and kick the ball. And we're going to hold this for a 5 count. Make sure that you're pressing the palm into the ground and squeezing the glute, keeping the ribs tucked and the leg low, holding for a slow count. Let's go ahead and relax. So for week 1, the focus is going to be on locking up the knee and the glute. Again, focusing on that kick ball or that kick ball position. Week 2, we want to keep the leg low. So as you're going through that, again, we don't want that leg being too high. We want to keep it nice and low. And for week 3, we're going to be focusing on keeping the ribs tucked. That way we can hold the core tight. Next, we're going to move into USB iso hold, glute bridge, and half kneeling dumbbell presses. So let's begin with the USB iso hold, glute bridge. So what we're going to do is we're going to begin by ripping the bag in half, squeezing the armpits down. We're going to flatten out the low back, and from here we're going to raise the hips up and get tight. Hold for a quick second, lower down the hips, and again we're going to repeat. Perfect. Again, the tension is going to be focusing on ripping the bag in half and bridging those hips up. So for week 1, we want to control the hips down. For week 2, we're going to focus on really ripping the bag in half. And for week 3, we're going to focus on creating the most amount of tension we can at the top. Next, we're going to move into a half kneeling dumbbell press. And with these, we're going to do 6 on each side. With the bridge, those were 12. So with the half kneeling dumbbell press, we want to make sure that the arm that's loaded is the knee that's down. So we want to start with the dumbbell in front of the shoulder. We're going to press the arm up and lock the elbow out. The bicep ends slightly in front of the ear, and from this position, we're going to pull the dumbbell down, slow and control. Let's go ahead and repeat. Slow and control down. Now, for week 1, the focus is to control the weight down. For week 2, pausing at the top to show that you have it locked out. And for week 3, we're going to focus on crushing the handle as you're pressing. Lastly, we're going to wrap up with med ball squats and TRX rows. For the med ball squats, we want to start with our feet slightly or around shoulder width apart. And we want to be slightly in front of the ball. So we don't want to hover over the ball, but we want to be just slightly in front of it. Next, we are going to start in a tall and tight position with those elbows back. So hands are behind the head. Perfect. We're going to reach the hips back and spread the floor with the knees. Touch the ball, and then we want to Dorito foot up. So again, like we talked about, we're bringing back Dorito foot. We really want to focus on pushing on all the points of contact on the foot. So that's the inside of the foot, the outside of the foot, and the heel. For week 1, we're going to be focusing on, you guessed it, Dorito foot. Again, we want to show people where to press into their squats, where they should be feeling it in their foot. Next week, or week 2, we're going to be focusing on keeping tall and tight. For week 3, we want to be explosive up. Next, we're going to go into TRX rows. So we're going to start in the plank position. Shoulders are down, elbows are straight. We're going to squeeze those armpits down and pull the elbows slightly behind the ribs. Lower yourself down in a controlled manner. Again, we want to think about a plank moving. Now, if this is relatively easy for people, we're going to progress into the face pull. So those elbows are up high as you're rowing. Good, getting more of the upper back involved here. Slow and controlled. Again, pulling those elbows high and back. Go ahead and relax. So for week 1, we're going to focus on keeping the plank position. Week 2, squeezing the armpits down. And week 3, we want to focus on pinching those shoulders back. So at that top position, we want to try to get those shoulders to pinch back a little bit more at the top.